Alrighty, so I'm just going to go through this trade plan one more time here. Do it one more time. Try to do it a little bit quicker. Um, I have three EMAs on my chart, and I also have MACD at the bottom here. As far as the EMAs, what I've got are the first one here is this purple line. This is the 1 minute 8 EMA. The second one here is the 5 minute 8 EMA, and the third one is the 15-minute 8 EMA. Okay. The second and third, I've created zones by going basically 7 through 9, 7 through 9, and this one's just 8. Okay, so the rule for trading right now is that my EMAs must be angular, either up or down. So right now, in this moment, the rule is satisfied as far as the angular nature of the EMAs. You can see they're all trending to the upside very clearly. You can see the angle. It's not quite a 45-degree angle. It's probably more like a 35. But they're definitely angling up. So that's rule number one, satisfied. Rule number two, they have to be stacked in order. Meaning that, let's say we're looking at price action right here at this time of day, 11:21. They are not stacked in order. In other words, the 1 minute is under the 5 minute. So 1 minute needs to be above the 5 minute in order for any kind of setup to be valid. Okay, so they got to be stacked, meaning the 1 minute has to be above the 5 minute. The 5 minute has to be above the 15 minute. Okay, rule number three: MACD, in order for me to take a trade, has to be also pointing up and above the zero line for a long, below the zero line for a short. Okay, right now MACD is just sitting just above the zero line, so long trade could be advised. Matter of fact, we just had somewhat of a signal there. We had a back test to the number one money line, the 1 minute money line, and that is the third condition of the trade. We need a back test of the 1 minute. So we just got actually a signal, because why? We got all three are angular and pointing up. They're stacked in order. Price is above the top one. It retraced back to the line and bounced off of it. MACD is pointing up as that's happening. So that was just a valid setup. And you can see very clearly why, right? We satisfied all of the requirements. All three EMAs are angled up in this case. They're stacked in order. Price was above the highest EMA. Price back tested the 1 minute money line right there. Back tested it. And the MACD has rolled over or above, as in the case of longs. It's rolled over and is below or above the zero line. So I just have to take that out right there because I just explained longs. So everything was copacetic for that trade to be taken right there, including the most important one of all. Well, one of the most important ones, the MACD. MACD was pointing up. So now, did it go very far? Not really. Not really, but it doesn't have to go far, because we're only trying to get 4 or 5 points, which is about 16 to 20 ticks. And when using heavy shares, that's all you really need. You can make great money. So basically, that is it. I just want to go through that one more time. It's pretty simple, right? Always know where your MACD is. That's probably the number one thing. If it's not, let's say price is trending up and you're interested in longs, but the MACD is under the zero line like it was just a few minutes ago, like down here, that invalidated this trade here because MACD was too low, right? On this one, we had MACD above the zero line. We had stacked EMAs. We had price above the top one, and we had a back test to it. So there was a setup right there, and the EMAs were pointing up. Blue line was above the orange line, so that one was good. That one worked out really well, like a 25-pointer. And then we had this one as well just now. Maybe not quite as a hot shot of a trade because we had more. It was more compressed. There was less leeway. We had overhang of this 26 above, so maybe that's what caused this not to go so high. But this one was good because it it triggered just above the double zero. So, price moves in quadrants, in 25-point quads on the NQ. So that was had more open air above, more blue sky above, room to run. Okay, so basically that is it. You always want to know where your MACD is. All three EMAs are either angling up or down. They need to be stacked in order. Price needs to be trading above the under the lowest or above the highest. Price back tests the 1 minute money line, and then you enter your trade with. I'm showing FTRC or FBGC. This is flat top red candles for a short, flat bottom green candles for a long. That's referencing Heiken Aishi candles. Okay, we didn't really get into that. I can show you that when the buy strength is very good, you'll have flat bottoms on the Heiken Aishi candles, and when the sell strength is very strong, you'll have flat tops, flat top reds, or flat bottom greens. So that's just one more thing to look for, and that is somewhat discretionary, but I think it's pretty important. All right, that's it for now. If you have any questions, let me know.